Hi everybody and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So this video is just kind of a wrap up since my last video. A lot of things have been going on lately to the point where I just couldn't film videos. As many of you know, one of the last videos I made was one of those like abrupt, like I can't tell you where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere video. Patrick's grandfather has been in the hospital, and that day he was getting transferred to ICU. This past weekend, he got moved to hospice, and he finally passed away last night. So my reading has just not been there because even like this past weekend, we had my best friend's wedding, and I was in the wedding, and it's just been such a roller coaster of emotions. So there's been little to no reading being done whatsoever just because our minds just have not been there to do it. Because it's just been like 1 minute you're happy, the next minute you're sad, the next minute you're happy, the next minute you're sad. So it's been really, really hard because he's one of those people that he just touches your life. So like even though I have only known him for about 2 years, it's been really devastating, and I've just been trying to be there for the family and just riding it out, and it's finally run its course. So before it gets too much crazier with services and things, I wanted to finally just update you. I don't really have much to update you on, but there's that. So I really also want to say thank you for all those who commented that we were in your prayers. We really, really appreciated it. At one point, I thought the prayers were working. I thought it was turning in our favor, and then it didn't. But I think our prayers are still being answered. So thank you so much for all of that. The first book that I finished since the last time I filmed was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This was one of those that day that like we were going to the ICU, and I was like, I don't want to be reading a book that I really care about because then I wouldn't be able to focus on it. So this was going to be a reread. I didn't even read anything at the hospital, but I was like determined to get my reread in for the month. I got my 2 in, so that worked. This book is one of my absolute favorite books. So I really, really enjoyed rereading this. Then we watched the movie again after, and it is still by far one of my favorite books. And then after that, I decided to pick up Necessary Lies by Diane Chamberlain. And this book was really different for me. I think I talked about it in a video that I was like currently going to pick this up, or I was currently reading it. And I gave this book 4 stars. It was not my favorite Diane Chamberlain book. This book mostly takes place in the 1960s between 2 characters. One is a social worker who is just recently married, and the other one is the family that she is kind of working with. And it was really slow for me to get into, but once I was in it, I was totally in it for the long haul. But because I couldn't be in it for the whole beginning part, I couldn't give this the 5 stars that I normally do for her books. But I'm still obviously in love with her writing, and the twists and the turns that her books take are just crazy. So I definitely still recommend this book and any of her other ones. And then the last book I've been reading, I read this book for over a week because I started it right before the wedding, and I finally got to only have 150 pages left, and then I didn't read at all during the whole wedding weekend, and then we weren't sure what was happening, and then I was sleeping, like we didn't read at all. It was just like so crazy. So this book took me over a week to get through, and that was The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I gave this book 4 stars, and I think a lot of it is just because the fact that I had to like read it so over a long period of time, I couldn't get into it in the way I wanted to. Like the day I was finishing the last 50 pages of it, I was literally like half asleep reading. So like my mind was just not fully into this book, and that's totally like my life, my fault slash my life going on that made me not fully love this book. Patrick loves this book. He is currently on the 3rd one, so he is definitely enjoying the series, and I know I will too once I can finally like dedicate my time to it. But I know I need a break from this book, so not this book, from the series, just because this was so overwhelming to read over a week. So I'm going to wait a while before I pick up The Son of Neptune, but still I'm really enjoying it and I like all the new characters, even though I don't know if I can trust any of them. And the book that I'm currently reading, the day I finished that, I was still half asleep and somehow managed to get through half another book, falling asleep throughout most of it. And that is She Went All the Way by Meg Cabot. I'm halfway through. I was half sleeping through most of this, so I'm not fully into this book. I'm not really intrigued by the writing style. It's changing perspectives, which it's got the perspective of the main characters, but it also switches out to other characters that seeing how they react to certain situations. These two people, they were kind of dumped by their own significant other to be with each other's significant others, and then they end up on this plane, and then the plane crashes, and it's kind of them trying to survive through this, and people's reactions to knowing what's happening, I guess. I don't know. It sounds like it would be really good, but for some reason I'm just not digging Meg Cabot's writing style right now. But I think once I'm not half asleep reading it, I should enjoy it a ton more. So we'll see. I'm going to hopefully try to get through this before things get crazy again, but we shall see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of all over the place and not as good as my other ones, but